This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
You know, people often ask, "What's your day like, Gerry?" You know, how does it go when you wake up? You're in Boston, you're in New England. What's it like? Well, I'll tell you. You wake up, you turn on the TV, maybe you watch a little cable news, you get online, and you feel utter shame, embarrassment. You hang your head in shame. We do not live in the United States. We live in New England. We live in Little California, Massachusetts, and our elected officials are national embarrassments. Today, for example, you wake up and you see Ed Markey. That would be our junior senator. He's about 75 years old. His last real job in the public sector was an ice cream man. That's why they call him Mr. Frosty. He's now a sitting senator, and you often wonder, what does he do? What's his day like? What's he working on? Well, he's online making train noises. Yes, this is a senator, a United States senator. Can we hear from Mr. Frosty today?
All aboard! Who are coming aboard? Isn't that fun? All right.
That is my senator right there. There he is. Well, that's my junior senator. I should say that. He's an embarrassment. He's a disgrace, but he's not nearly as bad as my senior senator. My senior senator is Elizabeth Warren. She yesterday had the gall to call for an ethics probe, essentially, of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is doing God's work right now. Elon Musk, he risked it all backing Donald Trump. He won, and now he's volunteering to save our country, essentially, with D.O.G.E. and other efforts, let's be honest. He's out there trying to find abuse, waste, corruption in the federal government. And he's already hard at work with Vivek Ramaswamy. There are even some Democrats who are supporting him on the D.O.G.E. committee. But no, what does my senior senator want to do? She wants to stop him. Liz Warren wants an ethics probe. Liz Warren, who is, as a U.S. senator, has amassed a fortune. She's worth, conservative estimate, about $12 million now. Liz Warren, who's never gotten a real job in the private sector. She worked in various universities. I believe she worked at 5 different schools, including Harvard, who, when they hired her as a law professor, boasted that they had their first law professor of color. Yes, Liz Warren, Miss High Cheekbones, said she was an American Indian. She is not. She never was. She lied. That's how she got the job. That's how she's got every job in her adult life, by lying and stealing a position from an actual minority, from an actual American Indian. But that hasn't stopped her. The mainstream media loves her. They don't care that she lied about her ethnicity. That's okay. Liz Warren wants to know, she wants, this is just so rich. She wants Elon Musk investigated. She wants to know what ethical guidelines that Donald Trump has for Musk, who owns a lot of businesses and runs them very efficiently. And he would like to do the same with the federal government. Every American, every taxpayer should get on their knees and thank this man for volunteering to do what has to be done. Wouldn't it be just a wonderful thing to know that your federal government worked as efficiently as SpaceX or Tesla or X? I don't think it's possible, but he can give it his best effort. He will do some good things. He will try, damn it. He will try. And that's saying something. Here's Liz Warren saying that Elon Musk has some conflicts of interest in his current role, which, again, he's volunteering to do. Has Liz Warren ever volunteered for anything in her life? Has she ever built anything? Has she ever run a business? Of course not. Has she ever had a real job? Of course not. Musk, she hates him because he's everything she's not. He's an accomplished man. He's a guy who has made this country better and is continuing to try to attempt to make this country better. She does nothing of the sort. Here's Musk. I mean, here's Pocahontas with Chris Hayes.
So think about it this way. Here is this man, richest man in the world, who has multiple companies. So he's got Tesla, the electric car maker. He's got X. He's got Neuralink. He's got SpaceX and a handful of other companies. Those companies are directly involved with the United States government. Millions and millions of dollars worth of government contracts, millions of touch points where there are rules that will affect those companies, like a $7,500 rebate for electric cars.
Musk is against.
Investigations that are currently ongoing into the practices of each of those companies and, in some cases, into Mr. Musk himself. And here he is whispering into the ear of Donald Trump. So what is he whispering? Is he whispering, here are ways to help the American people? Or is he thinking through ways to make those companies richer, to back off the regulators, or to end any investigations into his work? This is conflicts of interest at a level that we have never before seen in this country.
All right, let's talk about the investigations. God, this woman is just reprehensible in every way. Let's talk about the investigations. This broke yesterday. You want to talk about investigations into Elon Musk? This is, I'm reading from Hot Air right now. The Biden administration paid Reuters over $300 million in government contracts. 11 different government agencies targeted Elon Musk's businesses. All 11 agencies paid millions to Reuters. Reuters then won a Pulitzer Prize for their, quote, work on Elon Musk and misconduct of his businesses. How is that not the biggest story in the world right now? This is your government at work, the current government, the current administration. Joe Biden paid an alleged news organization $300 million to investigate Musk. And what did Reuters do? God damn it, they did what they were paid to do. They investigated Musk. You can Google it. One story after another from Reuters about looking into Musk's businesses and alleged misconduct. This is just corruption of the highest order. They won a Pulitzer Prize for investigating misconduct at Musk's businesses. This is Joe Biden and essentially Liz Warren. This is the Democrat Party targeting a man, a private business, because they don't like him, because he supported Trump, because he wouldn't play ball. As we've told you before, one of the investigations was into SpaceX because they wouldn't hire illegal aliens for really sensitive positions in the company, which dealt with the federal government. And they're charging him with misconduct, essentially, for not hiring illegal aliens. The Biden administration did exactly what Warren wants Trump to do now, investigate Musk for misconduct. Can't we just all thank the man for what he's done? I mean, he was a darling to Liz Warren and all the Democrats not that long ago. He was a Democrat. He made electric cars. He made them cool. He changed the industry. He sent rockets into space. He helped paralyzed people walk. He's done amazing things. He's the greatest entrepreneur of our time, maybe of all time. He's the richest man in the world for a reason. He's really smart, really innovative. And she wants to know what conflicts of interest he has. I'd like to know what conflicts of interest you have, Liz Warren, when you're attacking, say, RFK Jr. for going after Big Pharma, which donates piles of money to Liz Warren. I believe she's number 3 on the list in the Senate for taking donations from Big Pharma, and now she's doing their bidding, going after RFK Jr. She will not vote to confirm RFK Jr. because she says he wants to bring back polio, which is another big lie. I mean, they're not even trying to be subtle here. accusing RFK Jr. of, she said that you're going to get rid of your smile and we're going to bring back polio when she was asked about RFK Jr. Now, if you spend 5 minutes looking into this, you find out it's just a smear. RFK Jr. is not bringing back polio. He's not against the polio vaccine. The latest smear is that his lawyer wants to revoke the polio vaccine. That is a lie. There's 5 polio vaccines. His lawyer had questions about one of them. He wasn't even connected to this. That the lawyer, Aaron Spears, I think his name was, he asked questions about one of the polio vaccines, about its testing or its efficacy. And now RFK Jr. wants to bring back polio. Get ready. That's what you're going to hear from despicable people like Liz Warren in the coming weeks about RFK Jr., about Elon Musk, about anybody, all of Trump's nominees. Here's the bottom line for Liz Warren. I hate to break it to you. You can go on MSNBC, CNN. You could all the usual suspects will carry your water, but you're irrelevant now, lady. You're a backbencher. You're not in the majority. You're a 75-year-old lady playing out the string, and you can yap. No one's going to listen. You have no power. You have no influence. You're a nobody now, which is what you should be, a nobody. No one's going to listen to you. Nobody cares. That's the Liz Warren story. She's going to go out howling at the moon. No one. She has no influence anymore, which is a good thing. Most Americans, I think, appreciate Elon Musk. They see what he's done. They would love to see the federal government run like Tesla or like SpaceX. How is this not? I've read this thing like 5 times. The federal government paid a news organization to investigate Trump. We have 33 days left of this administration, the most corrupt administration in American history. 33 days, and then we're done with them. And we can look back in shame, in embarrassment that this man, that these people were ever elevated to the highest office in the land. Just a disgrace. That must kill her too. There's Elon Musk, net worth $485 billion, the richest man in the history of the planet. Salary, $0. He's taking no money, just like Trump, taking no money to save this country. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're saving this country from these corrupt, these just despicable people who are in power right now. It's over in 33 days. The only question is, how much damage can they do? How much damage can Joe Biden do in his final days? We will see. We're going to get to Joe Biden. I love revenge, as I always say. I love revenge. Joe Biden's revenge. He's coming after Nancy. Nancy Pelosi sitting in a hospital room after breaking her hip. She's in a hospital room in Germany. And Joe Biden, I think he's coming after you, Nance. I think you better get ready. Joe Biden, who was forced out by Nancy Pelosi. He has his ways of getting back to him. I'm not done with the embarrassment of Massachusetts politicians. Our former governor, Charlie Baker, an absolute failure as governor. He failed up. He was one of the worst COVID tyrants. And he was, after his term and here in Massachusetts, moved on, found a soft landing place at the NCAA. He went before the Senate yesterday. It was glorious. He is such a snake. He is such a worm. We'll get to what the senators did to poor Charlie. And, oh, man, we got so much here to get to. We get the lie of the year. Lie of the year. I have a problem with that. PolitiFact named this lie of the year. They got this one wrong. No surprise. And Kamala came out of hiding and reminded us just how lucky we were, just how big a bullet we dodged on November 5th. We'll get to that and much more. But first.
Excuse me.
Do you wake up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, or ringing in your ears from grinding and clenching your teeth at night? I've been through this. It's fairly common, and dentists charge $600 for a bruxism night guard. Many people are now discovering the Brux Night Guard. Unlike regular night guards that go all the way to the back of the teeth, Brux Night Guard only covers the front teeth. This unique design is what sets Brux Night Guard apart from all other guards. It only covers the front teeth, so the bite force is directed away from the back, where many people grind and clench to help reduce jaw pain and still protect the teeth. You mold it at home to the top and bottom teeth. And unlike other guards, it is made in America and uses 2 materials for added durability. Order a Brux Night Guard today and use the code MAX22 to get 10% off plus free shipping. Go to bruxnightguard.com and enter the code word MAX22.
By the way, when the Trump team responded to Liz Warren's call for an ethics probe into Musk, they called her Pocahontas. I love that. It is just so good. They just dismissed her out of hand, said, sorry, Pocahontas, it ain't happening. And of course, the media is more upset about Trump calling her Pocahontas than they are about Pocahontas lying about her heritage, her ethnicity to advance her career. That's okay. But, calling her out for it, that's a bad thing. Well, we got so much to get to. They're talking about the House GOP wants Liz Cheney. They're referring her for criminal prosecution, which is a great thing. She needs that pardon because she is a criminal. We can get to that. But I want to get to this hearing in the Senate yesterday because I have a really deep-seated disdain for one Charlie Baker. As I often criticize him on X and everybody, he's not a Republican. He's not. He's a hack. When he was governor of Massachusetts, he was a coward. Everything he did was to please the Boston Globe and the Democrats in the House and the Senate here. He just was gutless. He destroyed almost 40% of the small businesses in Massachusetts. Bars, restaurants, gyms went out of business. He didn't care. He closed playgrounds. He shut down schools. He fired people, state employees, cops, firemen, fired them for refusing the experimental vaccine. He was as bad as Kathy Hope, Gretchen Whitmer, or Andrew Cuomo, or Gavin Newsom. He was one of the worst. And he scurried away from the State House and found a damn good job. They paid him, he's making $3 million a year as NCAA president. So he goes before the Senate, and ostensibly the hearing was over gambling. It's a problem with all the gambling. He wants to eliminate prop bets on college sports because he thinks it puts too much pressure on the athletes. And the Republican senators were having none of it. They weren't there to talk about gambling. They were there to talk about this coward and the NCAA allowing men to play women's sports. And now we've talked about it many times. We talked about the San Jose State, I think it's San Jose State, women's volleyball team with a man forcing 5 other teams to forfeit because they didn't want to play against a man. They didn't think that was fair. They didn't think that was right. Obviously, it's not. And Baker did what Baker does. He squirmed. He blamed others. He blamed the federal courts and blamed the women who didn't want to get dressed, who change in the locker room with men. Now the hearing, it went on too long. The questioning went on too long for one simple reason. Even the Republican senators kept saying, biological men, transgender women who identify this and that. Why can't they just keep it short and say men against women? That's the problem. It's not transgender anything. It's men playing against women. Biological men are men. They're stronger. They're faster. We know that. It's demonstrably true. I heard a great factoid yesterday. In the 100-meter, the women's number one runner in the 100-meter in college, her time was beaten by 2,000 men. 2,000 men are faster than the fastest women in college track and field. But the questions are in general about allowing men in women's sports, allowing men in women's locker rooms. And Charlie had no answer. He was, as always, just squirming He is such a squish. He's so pathetic. He can't even stand up for women. John Kennedy went at him as only he can. Kennedy from Louisiana was terrific. Josh Hawley really went at him and just tore the flesh off his bones. Let's go to Josh Hawley first, because he's always great in these hearings, and he was great yesterday with this worm, Charlie Baker. Here's Josh Hawley going at the NCAA president, Charlie Baker.
Have guidelines that instruct them what the best practices are, and your guidelines say that biological men can go in and use the women's locker rooms if they want to. What the women want has nothing to do with it. They're not mentioned in here at all. Correct? Correct. It's right here. You just reaffirmed them in May of this year. I've got them. I'm reading them. I've got them off your website.
I believe our guidelines give people optionality with respect to how they choose to use their facilities. And many,
what does that mean? Optionality. What it says is transgender student athletes will be able to use the locker room, shower, and toilet in accordance with their gender identity. That means men will be able to use the women's locker rooms. And as Riley Gaines and others have testified before this committee, that means if a man, a biological man, wants to use their locker room, they just have to accept it. Or else the women have to go somewhere else. They've got to go find an alternative. Why is that fair?
We told the local folks who've hosted our tournaments they need to create accommodations for the people who are playing.
You know, so it's the feds on the one hand, it's the locals on the other hand. The only person who doesn't seem to bear any responsibility in this is you and the NCAA, who are the governing body. And your testimony here today is you're not even subject to Title IX. Mr. Baker, I can't tell you how disappointed this makes me, but not just disappointed, frankly, infuriated for the student athletes who are suffering because of your policies, and you won't even defend them. You won't even take responsibility. It's outrageous. It's totally outrageous.
Why is this a problem? Why? Why can't Charlie Baker just say, no, men in women's locker rooms, it's 80-20. Public, probably more. The public doesn't want men in women's sports. They don't want men in women's locker rooms. Why does it take any guts, any courage to just say that at this point? It is amazing that this tiny fraction, this fringe minority somehow has cowed, has bullied people like Baker and so many in the media into just indulging their fetish, their narcissism. Yes, we must accommodate this tiny fraction. Get to the Dick Durbin cut, because this sums it up perfectly here. The defense for the Democrats and for cowards like Baker, their defense is, well, it's really not that many people. You know, why is it such a big deal? Well, why can't we throw that back at you? Here's Dick Durbin trying to help Charlie Baker in this difficult time. Go ahead.
How many athletes are there in the United States in NCAA schools?
510,000.
How many transgender athletes are you aware of?
Less than 10.
Less than 10
Yep.
out of 510,000?
Yep.
That's Charlie's proud of himself. It's only 10. Well, good. That it's not a big problem. Why can't he tell those 10 to go in the other locker? Why can't he tell those 10 to play, those 10 men? They're not women. There's no women. 0 women who want to play against men. 0. They're all men who want to play against women. Leah Thomas, best example of all. As Riley Gaines tweeted out this morning, she was forced to change in a locker room with a 6'4" man who walked around naked proudly. Why? Why were the women, some of whom were 17, 18 years old, why were they forced to share a locker room with this creep who really enjoyed making them uncomfortable? We've gone over this. Yeah, he liked it. That was his thing. So there's only 10? So why can't you tell those 10 to get over there in the other locker room where they belong, or leave? Why? Why are we forced as a country to accommodate this tiny minority of narcissists who enjoy bullying girls, enjoy beating up girls? Why? Can someone explain? If it's only 10, it's not a problem. Why? Why do they get to make the rules for 510,000 other competitors. That, to me, that sums up Charlie Baker so well, just proudly saying it's only 10 that have ruined the sport. There was only one in San Jose volleyball. It's only one. There's only one in the University of Pennsylvania swim team. So why can't they tell that man who was dominating the women, why can't they tell him, sorry, that's not how it works. That's not fair. That's not fair competition. But Charlie had no answers. Here was the best part. Charlie tells John Kennedy from Louisiana that it is debatable whether men have an advantage over women. And then when pressed, flips and says, well, actually, it's not. He has no core conviction, no spine. He is just so pathetic. Watch this.
And a biological male is always going to have a physical and a physiological advantage competing in a collegiate sport against a biological female. Isn't that true?
There's not a lot of research on it, but it's certainly debatable.
Oh my, stop there, right there. Not a lot of research. So Charlie Baker needs research to know whether Leah Thomas has an advantage over the girls. He needs research to know whether men have a physical advantage over women. And he says it's debatable. God, is that pathetic? How can any man, how can any adult say that? He's just been beaten down and bullied, and he's good for Kennedy. And it goes on from there. And he's just, but the federal court said that and this and that. Just say no men and women's sports. How hard is that? It's happening around the world, by the way. It's over for the trans crowd. It's over. The people are waking up. They've had enough of it. They know how unfair this is. They know the whole point of sports is fair competition. That's why, adults don't get to play Little League. You don't get to identify as a 10-year-old to go play Little League. You don't get to identify as women and beat up women. It's just not fair. And cowards like Charlie are such, they're outnumbered, and they've been overwhelmed here, and it's not going to last much longer. But he is just pathetic. That is our former governor, and he's just as bad as our current governor and the one before that and the one before that. Hell, before that it was Mitt Romney. We just elect one just pathetic, sorry, sad excuse for a governor after another, and senator and congressman. It is humiliating to live here. All right. Speaking of humiliating, we're going to get to Kamala Harris's latest public appearance. Yes, and Kamala Harris is thinking of making another run. And all I have to say is, please, God, make this happen. I'm praying. I'm praying. Let Kamala Harris announce she's running again in 2028. She wouldn't get out of the primary this time, but it would be great to see her back on stage. And Joe Biden, he's still kicking. I think he's still alive, and he's got a way to get revenge, to get Nancy Pelosi back for what she did to him. We'll show you that. But first,
Excuse me.
A large part of managing a business's finances is tedious, repetitive work to ensure accurate bookkeeping. Well, Ramp helps streamline this work, giving business operators more time to focus on what matters most. Are you looking to cut costs and improve your business's bottom line? The best business operators have turned to Ramp to help them stop wasteful spending and improve their finance operations. Ramp is the corporate card and spend management software designed to help you save time and put money back in your pocket. With Ramp, spend policies are built into the card so you can prevent wasteful spending before it happens. You can customize spending limits and restrictions so employees are empowered to purchase what your business needs, and you can have peace of mind. Ramp plays the bad cop so you don't have to. Detecting policy violations, chasing missing documentation, requesting repayment, and locking cards of non-compliant employees. Ramp's accounting software automatically collects receipts and categorizes your expenses in real time so you don't have to. Say goodbye to manual expense reports And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/Gerry. That's RAMP.com/Gerry. Cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC, terms and conditions apply. Get $250 when you join Ramp. Go to ramp.com/Gerry. All right, small business owners, listen up. If you're tired of losing money to credit card processing fees, we've got something you need to hear. With 24/7 payments, you can eliminate up to 99% of those fees thanks to their fee elimination program. Here's how it works. You pass the processing fees on to customers who pay with credit cards, and in return, you can offer them a discount for paying with cash or debit. It's a simple, effective, and fully compliant way to save thousands every month. Right now, 24/7 Payments is switching over 250 businesses every month to this program, and they can have you set up in less than 24 hours. Call 855-504-0799 today or visit them on the web at 247payments.com. That's the numbers 247payments.com.
Joe Biden is not dead yet. Almost. He's almost done. 33 days. And we will be done with this corrupt old crook. But he's got things to do in the next 33 days. He's going to obviously try to hamstring the Trump administration, sell off the wall, sign deals with bureaucrats. He signed a deal with bureaucrats in the Social Security Administration, allowing them to work from home for the next 5 years. Trump's demanding, Musk, Trump, they're demanding that federal workers, I don't know, go to work. Man, sounds reasonable to me and to most people. But Joe Biden did an interview with something I never even heard before. I don't even know what he's doing now, where he is. And I would say it was in the new height of chutzpah, of gall for this corrupt crook. But there's a method to his madness. He's calling for an end to congressional stock trading. You know what that is? That's him firing back at Nancy Pelosi, who forced him out in July, and he knows it, who stuck the shiv in his back. And now he's going to call her out for all her questionable stock trades. But listen to his explanation. You shouldn't be able to be in a elected office and get rich. No, that's it's hard to believe he actually said this, but he doesn't even know what he's saying anymore. Listen to this.
One of the things I've found most admirable about you, Mr. President, you came into the Senate in 1972. People didn't follow stock trades, and you could have, if you wanted to get wealthy. You could have gone in early on Google and Boeing and Microsoft and NVIDIA and Amazon. You could have been an early investor. You didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't own any stocks for that whole period of time. When nobody was looking, there was no stock act, nobody was checking you. Why?
Look, for 36 years, I was listed as the poorest man in the Senate.
Oh, Jesus.
Not a joke. You know that listing they had? I mean, in the Congress, not the Senate, House and Senate. Yeah. I never thought I was poor. I had a salary that a senator made. But, I don't know how you look your constituents in the eye and know because the job they gave you gave you an inside track to make more money. I think we should be changing the law that we have to, we abide by at the federal level, that nobody in the Congress should be able to make money in the stock market while they're in the Congress.
I don't know how you can look your constituents in the eye. That is, hang that one in the Louvre. That is just incredible. This is a man who has sold out his country, sold out his office, who's made millions and millions. We know that now. At least $20 million from foreign hostile nations. We know his son, his brother have made millions. And he's saying you can't, by the way, he's lying. He wasn't the poorest man in the Senate. He's had a mansion. He's lived in a mansion since he was 30. Now he's got multiple mansions and cars and watches, and he's fabulously wealthy. We know that now. His whole family has gotten rich, but he wants to stop stock trading, which is fine. Let's do it. Let's stop. Hey, Matt Gaetz and AOC were working together to stop stock trading. Of course, it's a corrupt practice. Do you have that chart I sent you? Want to see the picture of corruption? This is from the usual whales. They have a chart of last year stock trading from congressmen and senators, and it's against the SPY, the Standard & Poor's average. The average for Standard & Poor's was 25%, pretty good. There's a congressman, Brian Higgins. He outperformed the market by 238%. 238%. Mark Green, Garrett Graves, David Rouser, Seth Moulton, another Massachusetts embarrassment. He outperformed the market by 80%. And you go down the list, there's Nancy Pelosi, 65%. Nancy Pelosi is now worth something like $240 million, a lifetime in Congress. And she's worth over $200 million. And you go down the list, there's dozens of Sheldon Whitehouse, Dan Crenshaw, who've outperformed the market by really incredible amounts. And then there's a few that underperformed the market, including Marjorie Taylor Greene. No question about her and insider trading. But Joe Biden wants to bring to the end of that because you shouldn't get rich in public service. God, there's just no end. There's just no limit to his lying, his gall. Oh, we got to get to the lie of the day. I got to move here. Let's get to Kamala. Kamala came out of hiding and reminded us just how big a bullet we dodged. We dodged a nuclear missile. This person came within, 3 million votes of winning the White House, of being our president. It's hard to believe. 74 million people watched this woman for 107 days, listened to her, hell, for 4 years as vice president when she occasionally, came out of hiding, and thought she could handle the job of president. Here she is discussing how she's going to stay in the fight. What fight? You lost. You were rejected. You failed. Thank God they chose you. Thank God Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama chose you. I'm not sure what would have happened in this election if they've chosen a competent Democrat. They didn't. They picked this person. Listen to her talking about staying in the fight yesterday.
The true test of our commitment is whether, in the face of an obstacle, do we throw up our hands or do we roll up our sleeves? And as we approach, and I ask you to remember the context in which you exist. Yeah, I did that.
She's allowed to laugh again.
She did what? What is she saying and what is she laughing at? What is she laughing about? What is wrong with this person? I was trying to think of what she can do now. Obviously, there's talk about her running for governor of California, and God knows they'll elect anyone out there. That's not really, America. That's California. Or she can't be on TV. She can't be on MSNBC or CNN and ABC. She couldn't. She's not smart enough. She couldn't handle it. Guess she could work at some, Ivy League school in some pretend makeup position, but what could she do? What job could she hold? She was almost president. That is just amazing when you think about it. She was almost commander-in-chief, handling all the problems of the world. She thought she could be, which brings us, by the way, to the lie of the day, the lie of the year. The lie of the year. PolitiFact, a left-wing alleged fact-checking outfit. It's just all it does is fact-check Republicans, fact-check Trump. They don't really acknowledge lies from Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, but the lie of the year, and we all know what the lie of the year is. Everybody knows the lie of the year, the most brazen lie, the obvious lie, the lie most repeated. We know that. Joe Biden said he wouldn't pardon his son. said it over and over again, and then pardoned his son. Didn't just pardon him, gave him this crazy blanket pardon that goes back before he was charged with any crimes, to cover for his whole corrupt family. But anyway, clearly that would be the obvious choice for lie of the day. Anyone want to guess? Anyone want to guess on the chat line here what the lie of the year was according to Politico? To me, I made my list of the top 5 lies, and this one's not on it. They say the lie of the year is Donald Trump in the debate saying they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Now, they went nuts. The media went crazy. Democrats went crazy. Hell, David Muir fact-checked him in real time, and David Muir's source was the city manager in Springfield. That's journalism today in America. Yes, that's not true because the city manager told me it wasn't true. Did he do any investigation? Did his reporters talk to people on the streets, in the parks? Did they talk to the guy who went before the city council and said they're eating ducks? He saw it. He saw them eating the ducks. No, they didn't talk to that guy. They talked to the city manager and said this wasn't true. Here is PolitiFact's lie of the year. Go ahead.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
They said that affected so many people. Oh, it hurt so many people. And the school faced bomb threats. Haitian immigrants moved away because of that lie of the day. My quick lie of the year. My quick lie of the year. Number one, obviously, would be Joe Biden lying and saying he would not pardon his son. Number two, and I'd say this is a big one, and it was made by everybody in the Democrat Party and everybody in the mainstream media. Joe Biden's tip top. Joe Biden's sharp as a tack. Remember that one? They said it up till the day that Joe Biden withdrew, that Joe Biden was forced out of the race. Up till that day, Joe Biden was fine, sharp as a tack. Joe Scarborough said, Joe Biden, this was, I believe, in May or June. Joe Scarborough said, this is the best Joe Biden has ever been. Smart, aware, lucid, coherent, never better. To a man, every Democrat said it. Every media person said it, knowing it was a lie. Kamala Harris said it over and over again. Hell, what did Mayorkas say? They couldn't keep up with him. He was very probing and sharp. That would be number 3 on my list. Number 4, Kamala Harris in a debate saying there are no Americans in an active war zone. And then we saw the video of the guys in the active war zone laughing and saying, where are we? Where are we? She knew it was a lie. She said it. You could say Joe Biden and Kamala Harris saying over and over again, the economy is going great, best economy in the world. Just a flat out lie. And of course, number 5 on my list, George Stephanopoulos. Trump was held liable for rape. I would say that belongs on the list since it cost Georgie $16 million. It cost him $1 million and ABC $15 million. I would put that on the list, certainly ahead of eating the dogs, which they can't even prove is false. Donald Trump said they were eating the dogs. Joe Biden said they ate his uncle. Uncle Bozy was eaten by cannibals, which was laughably, comically false. And everyone knows it, but that's not on the list. No, that's not on the list. They made a whole list, PolitiFact, and it's not all, it's mostly Trump and J.D. Vance. Trump, number 2 on their list. Trump said the Biden administration stole $1 billion from FEMA to give to illegal aliens, which is true. I mean, you don't have to say they stole it, but they took it. Then they pick J.D. Vance saying that Trump didn't lose the 2020 election. Marjorie Taylor Greene, they put on there. And Elon Musk, here's what they call one of the lies of the year. Elon Musk said Joe Biden's strategy is to, quote, get as many illegals in the country as possible and legalize them to create a permanent majority. PolitiFact says that's false. It is? I think that is 100% true, but That's not what they're there for. They're not there to fact check. They're there to help Democrats. All right. I did want to get at this Liz Cheney story because I love it. I just love it. Liz Cheney is in big trouble. Before we go, let me get this. This is from the New York Post. A House Republican-led panel called for a federal criminal investigation of former Rep. Liz Cheney for possible, quote, criminal witness tampering with a star witness. When you read this, she is nailed to the wall. She committed a crime. Check this out. Cheney and Cassidy Hutchinson, the low-level aide to the White House that went before the committee and lied. She went before the committee and told one story in her first two appearances. Then Liz Cheney reached out behind the back of the lawyer for Casey Hutchinson, and she changed her story. How did she reach out? Via encrypted signal app messages. So she was reaching out to a witness behind the back of the lawyer with encrypted messages before she changed her testimony and told those just wild lies, those crazy lies about Trump trying to grab the wheel of the beast, the presidential limousine. How is that not criminal witness tampering? It clearly is. She fired her first lawyer, hired another lawyer on the recommendation of Liz Cheney. And then Casey Hutchinson came up with all these stories about Trump throwing cheeseburgers at the wall saying he wants to hang Mike Pence. She told all these crazy stories after Liz Cheney reached out via encrypted messages on Signal. That sounds like Liz Cheney is in trouble. Liz Cheney, more than anyone, needs a presidential pardon from Joe Biden. We'll see if she gets it. I think she will. I think they all will. Fauci, Jim Biden, Frank Biden, Ashley Biden, they're all going to get pardons. There's nothing stopping Joe Biden now. Nothing. But, he doesn't want people to get rich while in public office. He's dead. He's dead set against that. God, he has no shame. All right. That will do it for today. Today. Happy birthday to Keith Richards. He's 81. You know what that means? There's hope for us all. Keith Richards somehow has lived to the ripe old age of 81. I don't know how is that even possible? You know what? I don't think Keith Richards is going to listen to RFK when he tries to make us all healthy again. He's done okay doing it his way. But
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, just keep on. Still smoke, I think. He must smoke. I mean, he's done every drug in the world. He's not only still living, he's still playing. Good genes. That's what that is. Good genes. All right. Thanks to everyone for listening and for watching. We appreciate it. Thanks, Ironhead. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is The Callahan Show, and we will do it again tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, my God. Is she crazy?
Thank you. Thank you
Wow.
all. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, too many. Thank you.